All right, welcome back to the You Can't Fool You podcast. I'm your host, Rockne O'Leary, and before we dive in, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, the Vertigo Center, helping you find balance when the world won't stop spinning. If you or a loved one are struggling with dizziness, vertigo, or imbalance, please visit thevertigocenter.com to take your first step towards steady living. So today's guest is an absolute badass. She's a certified personal trainer, a certified sports nutrition coach, a competitive bikini and former wellness bodybuilder, a wife, and a mother of three. So that's a crazy schedule right there, and a lot of people struggle to find balance with just a job or just a family. But Carla's out here running a business, raising a family, and competing in one of the most like disciplined sports out there. And we're going to get into what drives her, how she manages it all, and what we can learn from her experience. So, Carla, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. So let's just start simple. Who is Carla, and what's your story? How did you get into fitness, and then what led you to starting your business, your company, True Hustle Fitness?
All right, cool. I'm Carla, 37 years old. Mom of three, been married for almost 14 years. Um, I've always been into fitness. I was a hairdresser. After my third, it was hard for me to get back to work, so I kind of just like sat back and decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for training and coaching and just helping people, basically just for the hell of it and just being nice and not expecting much out of it, just to like kind of spread the awareness of working out and, choosing to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Um, so that's when I thought to myself, after it just got like kind of a little bit busy, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just decide to do something with this. So about 2 years ago, Pat and I were on vacation with a couple, friend of ours, and we were like just talking about the whole thing. And she's like, you should really just go for it. Create your own business, do this, that, and the other. And I thought she was literally off her rocker. And I was like, there's no way I can do this. Like, be a mom, be a wife, um, and manage to try to establish a business now. Like, it's just crazy to me. And I just could not see myself doing it. So then I was like, the hell with it, I'll try it. So I did it, and here we are. I'm like crazy busy, um, training people online, in person, young and older people. Um, yeah, just doing my thing.
So you were a hairdresser. Were you into fitness before then or during that time? Like, did you play sports growing up? Did you work out as a kid? Did you always have that like drive to work out?
Drive to work out. So I did play lacrosse. I started young. I played into high school. Never really thought much into it. Basically, it's just something to do. My brothers all played sports, so it was just kind of like what we did. We just played sports. After high school, I went to beauty school and never walked into the gym after high school. Never worked out. I ran like here and there, just basically just to stay active. It wasn't until after I had my second kid, Landon, that I was like, you know what? I need to get back into it. I feel like
Yeah.
crap. So I just joined the local Y and started going every day. Met a couple people. We used to hang out and lift and stuff like that. And then that's when it really like triggered to me like, wow, I feel good. I look good. I want to continue doing this. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to go back to that conversation that you had on on vacation, and so you were encouraged to start your own your own fitness brand. So you had been training a decent amount and were kind of building up, some momentum before then, I would imagine,
hmm
right?
hmm
And then what came across you where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Where did you get like the philosophy behind True Hustle Fitness and to do what you do now?
So, um, yeah, we were on vacation, and my girlfriend said to me, she's like, how many people do you train online? And I was like, I don't know, probably like 15, 20 people I train online, just like basically like whether it was workout programs, nutrition, just guidance, stuff like that. Nothing in person. And I was like, oh, if I did do it, it would just be like something like a cool name, like something silly. And we were sitting there and she's like, but what makes you feel good about helping people? And I was like, just like describing to them, like, it takes grit, it takes like hustle, it takes being you, and consistency and discipline, and doing it like the true way. There's no special pill, there's no special shot. It's hard work. And we were sitting there and she was like, oh my God, you should do like true hustle fitness. And I was like, that's literally everything wrapped up in one. So when I got home, I like really put in some thought to this, and I was like, yeah, this is it, because I work my butt off. There's no shortcuts. There's no cheat sheets. You have to hustle, and you have to be you, and you have to stay true to the process. It's a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. And, time and consistency will get you where you want to be.
Yeah, I think what you said is consistency one, and it's a process. And it sounds like, at that time you had kids and you're married.
Mhm.
And so, I think these points are kind of really relatable for kids is consistency and trusting the process. And I think another one here is I'm sure you had a ton of support from your husband as well,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
so like having a support system and people around you to encourage you because you're taking risks, you're doing something you've never done before,
Yeah.
right? How important was that to have a strong support system and giving you the confidence to go for it?
It was. It took a lot because I doubted myself like a lot, and I was like, I'm never gonna be able to do this, like keep up with this, running the kids here, there, everywhere, being at school, doing this, getting them ready, being a wife, like maintaining the house and stuff like this. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to give it 100%. And Pat looked at me and he's like, Car, you can do hard things. You can do this. And I was like, you're right. I can do this, and no one's gonna stop me. So he always said like the busier the better, the busier the better. If you're busy, you're going to be better. And I'm like, okay. So, he's so supportive, period. So it doesn't matter what I want to do. He always has my back. The kids made it cool too because they're like, Mom, you're helping like all these people, and you have your own business and your logo and you're this and you're that. And like, um, they see my client check-ins and they're just like, wow, you help them get their body like that. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you're like a real life superhero. Like you can help people change their life. And I'm like, yeah, so like they get it. He gets it. And it's great because we're a team, you know, so it just makes it easy.
Yeah, well, that's good. And so then, as you're doing that, you got into now. Were you always like into bodybuilding training when you
No,
were coming up? No,
no,
okay.
no. I mean, I lifted like a bodybuilder. I've dabbled in CrossFit. It's just not for me. I don't like it. So like since the beginning, I've always been like that bodybuilder mindset, lifting heavier, progression overload, stuff like that. Some hit stuff, running. It wasn't until 2 years ago, probably. My first coach I ever had, because I needed someone to look over my stuff because I was too busy looking over everybody else. I would put myself to the side,
Yeah. Yeah.
back burner. And a friend of mine started helping me coached me. And she kept saying to me, let's just try uh, doing a competition. I'm like, no way. Like, those people are insane. Insane. I could never do that. I like to eat too much. And it's just a lot of stress. So, 2 summers ago, I was like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm just going to give it all I can. I only live one time. I'm going to try it. And I can say,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I did this. And whether I hated it or I loved it, I can say I did it. So in July, I was like, let's just do it. Fuck it. We'll go balls to the wall and just do it. And July, I got into prep. I'll never forget. It was July, the weekend after July 4th, and my first show was in October, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was just so fun watching my body change the way it was, and just seeing the discipline that I had for myself and the consistency that I showed. And it was a piece of cake. And then
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I was like, let's just keep going. So I did another show in November, and I had to switch categories because I got too small.
Hmm.
So I ended doing bikini, which was cool. And then coming out of that show, I was like, I'll do another one. Why not? And then I got into a couple complications last year, had to wait, and now I'm about to start prep for another show come
Nice.
probably May or June. So
Sweet. That's
yeah.
awesome. I, how important, so I think this is important for kids, is you said you were looking over everybody else's program. So you were a coach,
Hmm.
right? You were helping coach other people. But then you were like, I'm putting myself to the back burner, and you went and hired a coach.
Hmm.
How important do you think it is to have a coach?
Oh, 100%. I think it's not even for like for somebody to tell you what to do. What it is for me is the accountability. So
Yeah.
checking in weekly or twice a week with a coach, and then saying, okay, you know what, do this, that, and the other, and like whatever. So it's a little bit of people telling you what to do to try to make it better for you, but 100% the accountability.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to hold yourself accountable when you're doing 1,000 other million things, like especially when it comes to food, because we're all busy, we all have crazy things going on in life, but if I didn't have the accountability and the my coach checking in with me twice a week, I would have just said, F it, because I'm not going to check in with myself. And I think I'll be fine. Next week, I'll just catch up, So it's
Yeah.
like, I was constantly just in my mind, like saying, oh, next week I'll do better. Next week I'll do better. And having a coach really held me accountable. For
Yeah.
sure.
And like the excuse I feel like some people will make be like, "Oh, I don't have time to do that,"
Yeah.
right? Or like, "I don't have the time to spend with a coach." And I think of it as like a couple ways. One, the coach is there as like, right, accountability, touch points. If the session's supposed to be an hour or 30 minutes or whatever it is with your coach to talk about what's going on, like if you're crushing it and you're doing great, then great. Like you don't we're not here to take up all of your time. If it's just like you just need like a touch point, hey, I got 10 minutes. This is what I'm doing. I'm good. I'm good. And if you need the hour or whatever it is that, it's then you got it.
Hmm.
But the touch points, I think, with the coach are what's really important
Yeah.
because
100%.
that keeps it consistent and again that accountability.
Yeah. A lot of my athletes are always like, if it wasn't for the pictures each week, like I would be I'd be gone, because it's when they see the pictures and they see the weekly updates and they're like, "Oh my god, I don't feel any different, but I look different." You
Yeah.
know? So even if it's just like a quick like, "Hey, crazy busy this week. Here are my pictures. Look over them, let me know what you think." So like I get a lot of that too. Or I get a lot of my athletes saying like, "Oh, texting me every day. What should I do with this? What should I do with this?" And I love that. Like
Yeah.
I want them to reach out to me because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's what my job is. So
Exactly.
like if you need something, I'm here. Whether it be like, oh, ran out of food, this is all I have, what can I do? It's
Yeah.
just the little things that they that just make it easier to have a coach.
Yeah.
Just like quick little fixes.
Yeah. And another thing you said about once you got a coach that came up for me that I think is important for a lot of kids too is like you went all in.
Hmm.
Well, you were like, no, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it, and I'm going all in on that.
Yeah.
How how do you think making that decision and fully committing to something impacted one, the experience, and two, like the results you got?
Wait, say that one more time.
So how would you say committing, deciding to go all in, right? You're not just gonna dip your toes in. You're not just gonna have one foot in, one foot
Hmm.
out. Like you were like, I don't know, but you know what? All right, let's just go. Let's just go
Hmm.
on. And you kind of had your coach for support with that.
Yeah.
How do you think one that I would say enhanced the overall experience of you of your journey into the show to
Hmm.
compete, um, and then also maximized your results?
So I would say 100% my mindset was I'm going for it all. And just to prove to myself that I can do it. It's just you hear I was hearing horror stories like prep this, prep that. It's so hard, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, it can't be that hard. So I said to myself, I'm either going to go all in or I'm not going to go in at all. So when I went all in, it was great. And as I was getting closer to the show, it was making me more and more excited. And the more I wanted to do better and do give myself
Yeah.
just do more. Um, it was just the experience and the way it made me feel like it was just it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you wouldn't have got that if you didn't go all in
No,
with it, right? If
no,
you only if you know, part-time commitment leads to part-time results.
yeah.
And so you wouldn't have had the same experience and now I would imagine that you take a lot of those lessons of your commitment and you probably apply them into other aspects
Oh yeah.
of your life,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Like
Yep.
business
And I teach
as a
and
mom.
I yeah, as a mom, I teach my kids that too. Like, um, especially when they like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Landon was always a baseball player since he was little, always played baseball, phenomenal at baseball. And last year he said to me, I think I want to try lacrosse just because it's something different. Baseball's kind of slow and I just want to he was just coming out of football and basketball and his adrenaline was constantly going, constantly running. You know, football and basketball, you're just on the go nonstop. And then baseball happens, you're just like, it's kind of boring. So he's like, I'm going to try lacrosse. So we signed up for lacrosse, and I said to him, listen, like, are you sure that you want to give up all the years of baseball to try lacrosse? He said, yeah, absolutely. I said, we're going to do it. To his first practice into lacrosse, he was like, I hate it. I don't want to ever
Yeah.
again. I don't I don't want to do it. I said, buddy, listen, you said you were going to give it 100%. You literally gave it 25%.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody on the field. You don't know what you're doing. And that's why you hate it because you're just out of your comfort zone. I said, remember when I did hard things and I gave it my all and look at what I got out of it? I said, this is what you're going to do. You signed up, you're going to deal with it and you're going to finish through. And by the third, fourth practice, he's like, Mom, thanks for making me stick it through because it's literally the best thing
Oh,
ever.
that's awesome.
And he's like crushing it at lacrosse.
Yeah.
I just try to explain to them like it's okay to do hard things. It's okay to fail. Like not everybody is going to be the best at what they try, but as long as you give it your best, you'll see that you can do hard things. And you can learn to be better. So
Yeah.
that's just the mindset that I try to teach them because they're so little. Just give it your all. And if you fail, you fail. If not, at least you could say you tried it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great story. Like, of course, when you first start, if you've never done something before, like it's gonna be hard. You might not be very good, but like you're taking the experiences that you've learned
Mm-hmm.
through bodybuilding, right? And you're now you're passing them down to your kids, and now Landon, your son loves it, and he's
Loves
doing
it.
great now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a repeatable process to learn. So there's
Yeah.
probably going to be another point in his life where something like that again is going to come up,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's starting to build that like willpower muscle at such a young age, and he's going to be able
Yeah.
to carry that with him the rest of his life, and
Mm-hmm.
that goes a long way.
Yeah. It's important.
Absolutely, and that kind of leads us into like the mental side. of it. What what is a typical day? Like, what is the mental side of bodybuilding that I can imagine is super challenging?
It is.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's like
You
what types
know,
of practices were you using to build your mind and like battle through
actually,
the mental that's through it.
yeah, to be honest with you, it is what keeps me sane. So
Yeah.
it the gym, bodybuilding, the weights, just the atmosphere, and just, from the second I take my pre-workout to the second I'm done, it is like when I go in there, it's like my mind is just clear. Um, I just feel like it helps me be a better mom. It helps me be a better wife. Um, I've always had that mindset. Like it's just always been peace for me. I would say, if anything, like I have fun with it. So if there is a struggle, or if it's like a mental, uh, you know, Rockne, I have to say, like it's hard for me to have rest days. Like
Yeah.
I just love it. I wouldn't even say that it's that anything kind of, I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah. So like the typical challenges that people would face, you would say like you kind of just you enjoyed what those would normally be.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I do get a lot of, how do you stay so consistent? How do
Yeah.
you stay so disciplined? I just say that it doesn't get easier. It just, you just fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
Um, it's just getting it's it's just getting to the point where you just love it, and you, on your rest days, you're just like, damn, I don't get to work out today. Um, I do get a lot of girls that'll just be like, "Oh, I just need some motivation today. Like, what can I do?" And I'm like, "Listen, blast that music, get out there, and just think about the weights. That's it."
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, like, I don't know. I just feel like you just have to fall in love with the process.
Yeah. Um what so like I think what a lot of people would do, well, I guess let's go to this. Who's your main clientele? Do you work mostly with women?
Yeah, women.
Mostly with
I
women.
have a couple
Okay.
guys, but it's majority
It's
women.
mostly women.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of a thing, something that a lot of people struggle with or have questions about is the nutrition side of it.
Hmm.
So like sometimes, yes, getting into when with the challenges, going to the gym and lifting the weights and getting pumped up for that is the easy part.
Here's the easy part.
You know, it's like sometimes for like a lot of athletes, like going to practice and lifting the weights, that's the easy part.
Hmm.
It's the part outside of the actual thing staying
Hmm.
consistent. So that could be like your mental state and having a positive attitude and positive self talk, or it could be the nutrition, which is what a lot of people struggle with. Oh man, I just want that that cheat meal, or it's late at night and I want to grab a couple chip or like whatever. What are your strategies, or what advice would you give to people looking for better nutrition tips?
So I go into nutrition coaching, and I'm just like, guys, listen, we don't restrict any food. Um, because when we restrict, that's when we fail. Um, you could only deprive yourself of so much before you're just like, oh my gosh, I need a donut, or I need something sweet, or I need that slice of pizza. So mindset is, we don't restrict any food. And I go into it as, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And you have to fuel your body to perform. So if you want to be able to go into the gym and you want to be able to lift, or if you want to be able to run a marathon, or just run in general, or just be a better mom with more energy and stuff like that, you have to eat. And, you know, not depriving carbs and not depriving treats and stuff like that. There's ways around, having a good lifestyle where you're still eating the treats and the sweets and enjoying your life and enjoying the parties and going out to dinner and drinking and stuff like that. So I try to teach everybody that, like I said, it's a lifestyle. And I'm the type of coach that's like, go out and indulge in that date night and have a dessert and stuff like that. We just pick up and move on for the next day. Um, so I feel like a lot of girls after when they come to me, they're just like, I don't know, the nutrition is the hardest part. And I'm always like, okay, so what's going on with your nutrition? And for an example, they'll be like, well, I barely eat and I just can't lose weight. And I'm like, well, that's your problem because your body needs energy. Your body needs to properly function. So once I start to show them that like you can eat this, that, the other, and have results, it makes it a little bit easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you notice so you do work with some men.
hmm
Do you notice a difference in like what men and women come to you with in terms of nutrition for like the thing that they're struggling with?
yeah, because guys will come in, they're just like, oh, I want to gain muscle, I want to gain strength, I want to get better in the gym. Um, some girls will be like, oh, I just want to lose weight. I just want to be skinny. I want to be small. And then other girls will be like, oh, I just want to be able to be strong in the gym. So really it just depends. I go at it with the same mindset. Just because, with nutrition, you kind of have to fuel bodies in order for them to respond properly. You can't just go right into deficits or right into eating so much food to gain so much muscle. It's a process. So they do come for different things, but I kind of go at it with the same mindset.
Gotcha. And what advice? So, yeah, I've worked with some, um, female high school athletes, and there has been times, like if we're doing more high intense stuff, whether it's like max effort jumps or sprints or lifting heavier weights for lower reps, right? And you're using a different energy system, and so sometimes we'll go, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, hold on, I'm a little bit lightheaded,
Lightheaded.
and I'm like, all right, well, time to wake up.
Did you eat?
Okay. Did you drink any water? Yeah. Did you eat anything?
No.
No. Okay. Well, we're not working out where, we're doing a couple squats here, a couple bicep curls. We're doing like different types of stuff than what you might either see on TikTok or Instagram or wherever you're getting your information from. It's a little bit different in
hmm
terms of what we're training for if we're training some high school athletes. And they start to get lightheaded, and now it's kind of affecting their training session.
Yeah.
And then same principle for if you're getting ready to play in a game too,
Right.
right? And so, what advice to those? I mean, it could be guys too. I've just found this more common with high school girls. Is that what advice would you give them if you're getting ready for a workout
hmm
and it's in the morning, or you're getting ready for a game and it's after school? Like, how are you preparing your body? What are you putting in there?
So it's funny you say that because I literally just had this talk with one of my clients the other day. Running off an empty stomach, and we're not doing fasted cardio. I'm talking like we're doing heavy squats or we're doing heavy deadlifts, um, progression overload, stuff like that. The majority of people that come to me and they're like, "Oh, I work out fasted," my stomach gets really upset if I eat something prior, and I'm like, well, how do you expect to fuel for your performance? How do you expect to lift heavy? How do you expect your muscles to grow and your recovery and stuff like that? So my advice to everybody that I train, young athletes or older people, you have to fuel properly before a workout, before a game, stuff like that. Your body runs off of energy, and depending on what kind of lift or what kind of game or anything that you're doing, you need carbs, period, just because it's energy. So a lot of the a lot uh I would just I
What
lost
would you tell them to eat? That's okay. What
okay.
so like if say it's summertime.
Mhm.
It's a little hot out. We're gonna be outside. You're gonna be doing some sprints, some med ball throws, maybe some jumps, and then you're going to go into a lift, right?
Yeah.
And your workout's at 8 in the morning.
Hmm.
What if I'm a female athlete? What are you gonna tell them? This is what you should eat and do before. What should your routine look like in the morning before you go work out?
For me personally.
I'm saying for a
Oh,
high school girl.
okay.
Yeah.
Go to is always like banana with peanut butter or rice cake with peanut butter, or if you like cream of rice, any kind of, quick digesting carb. Fruit is just great, especially in the summertime and then when it's hot and stuff like that. It's just refreshing. Um, so any kind of carb or with a fat. My go-to is probably banana with peanut butter for
Yeah,
sure.
and peanut butter. I mean, who
Yeah,
doesn't love a
right.
banana
Who
with
doesn't
peanut
love
butter?
that?
And so I think it's a pretty good analogy. Would it be a pretty good analogy to say that like your body is the car and food is like the gas
Yeah, or the oil. Yeah.
or the oil? Yeah.
Yes. So
Um,
I say that all the time. How do you expect a car to run without oil? It's just not
yeah.
going to happen. Or a car to run without gas, not going to happen. So if you want to perform your best and you want to go further, you have to fuel properly.
And then what about post workout or post game?
Um, so I go to is always like light carb, some fat, a lot of protein. Protein, especially just for the muscle that you just broke down. So it just helps with recovery. Um, like after my kids get done a game, stuff like that, I always make them get like I'm just like grab some hard boiled eggs, grab a protein shake.
Yeah.
I feel like that's constantly coming out of my mouth to the kids is hard boiled eggs and protein shakes. Um, and I always tell them like before their game or whatever, I'm always like gummy bears, just get some gummy bears because it's just quick energy. But yeah, the protein for sure after your workout or your game.
So before the workout, more carb and fat, and then
Yeah.
after the workout, more protein.
Yeah.
Okay. And so are your kids starting to understand like what the process of this looks like? I know they're young, but
Yeah.
they're starting to pick up on it.
Yeah, they pick up on it. They like it. I don't deprive them of anything either. Like if they want to, I don't ever tell them not to eat something just because I don't want them to ever get a complex or think that, oh my God, I can't eat that because it's not healthy. I just try to explain to them that before and after the workout is when you want to, concentrate on protein and concentrate on your carbs before.
Okay. What about like I think an interesting one is like quality of food,
Mhm.
whether it's organic or whole foods and vegetables, canned, um, frozen. Like where do you stand on that? Because there's a lot of
Mhm.
I guess chemicals and
Yeah.
stuff in our food that do affect how our
Yeah.
bodies work.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on
And
that?
and it affects mental state too. I try to explain to them that the fresher the better. So fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, grilled chicken, ground beef, hard-boiled eggs, stuff like that is what is going to make us feel better, and our energy is going to be better throughout the day. Um, but I'm also cautious of what I say to them because I don't want them to think like, I just don't want them to ever be out and be like, oh my God, my mom will get mad if I eat
Right.
that. I don't want to eat
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I do a little bit of mix of everything. I let them
Yeah.
have fun. I let them eat that stuff. There's plenty of times where I go to Aldi and get a frozen pizza and stick it in the oven. I'm like, hey guys, this is dinner with some grilled chicken and a
Yeah.
salad, you know? Um, but I try to set the example. So Pat and I like constantly eat fresh food. So they see us eat it, and it's not even like I have to explain it to them or anything. They just are just like, all right, I'll just eat whatever mom and dad are eating, you know?
Yeah.
My little guy loves dinosaur chicken nuggets, and I let him eat them, you know? It's just like, I pick and choose my battles. They are young. So things that I have control over, I will. Um, but if he wants to eat the dinosaur chicken nuggets, I'm like, go ahead, have dinosaur chicken
Yeah.
nuggets.
Well, I think that's it's interesting, like involving your family into your lifestyle, right? And your kids into fitness, and you and Pat setting the example of what a healthy lifestyle should look like. And how often I feel like a lot of the times you see like it's the parents are eating healthy, right? And then the kids are eating the whatever it is off the kids menu at the restaurant, or the kids are eating differently than the parents, right? And I don't have kids, and I'm not at that stage yet.
Yeah.
But it seems like sometimes there's a disconnect, right? The
Yep.
parents are and the kids can have whatever they want.
Hmm.
Would you say that's pretty common?
Yeah, that's common. And for me, like I said, I pick and choose my battles. So sometimes like my food's already prepped in my food. If I prep so that there's enough food in the house to just, grab and go for everybody, grab and go, grab and go. But on some nights where they're just like, they just don't feel like eating it, I'm just like, okay, I'll make something different, whether it's, who knows, like I may make like breakfast for dinner for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I feel like if you force it, it's not going to happen.
right.
Kids are funny that way. I feel like if you just show them and guide them and let them see you do it, they're just going to follow through.
Yeah, so you guys
Yeah.
setting a good example,
Hmm.
they're more inclined to kind of follow suit.
Yeah. I don't pressure them into anything. Like, I don't ever say, okay, guys, we're going to go out to the gym and work out. Like 99% of the time, Maddie will come home from school and be like, all right, mom, can you write me a program? What should I do today? Landon, what should I do today? And Nash is just like, anytime Pat is in the gym, Nash is like, okay, got his sweatband on, his high socks. He's got his pre-workout, his little water with a little bit of electrolytes in it. Like, he's balls to the wall and like just wants to do
He's
everything that
all
Pat does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Maddie is just kind of like in her own world. She just wants to try different things and
Yeah,
whatever, and it's just fun to watch. Like, I don't ever have to say anything to them, they just want to do it, and
yeah.
I'll never force them to work out or to do certain things, just because like I want them to want to do it.
Hmm.
I just feel like it's just better for mentally, and it'll just be better for the long haul for them. They'll just enjoy it
Yeah,
more.
yeah. It probably makes like your relationship with them
Oh, it's
is so
it's
much fun and like
amazing.
rewarding too, right?
Yeah, like Landon, he'll and Maddie both. They're like, all right, we're gonna bench, and I'm like, mom, can you help me? I'm like, hell yeah, I can help. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll do it. It's fun. Um, and the fact that they want to do it just makes me happy, and it just is rewarding in itself that like Pat and I are killing the parent game. You know,
Yeah.
like they're athletes.
Yeah.
They wanna be better. Um, like I never met a kid that cries when they lose. Like Landon will be in a bad mood all day if he loses a game. If he plays like crap, he'll just be thinking about it all day long. And like it just makes him be a better athlete for the next game. And Maddie too. Like she'll set goals for lacrosse. She'll be like, all right, I'm playing defense, but I'm gonna definitely get a goal today. And she'll walk out the field with 2 goals and she's playing defense for lacrosse. So it's like I feel like their mindset is great, and they're definitely taking after Pat and I for sure.
Yeah. So setting that good example, not forcing it on them,
No,
and just like
absolutely.
allowing them to learn the lessons and figure it out for themselves. But you guys are setting a good example that
Yeah,
they
I
kind of
want them.
have.
Yeah,
No, good.
I want them to learn and make mistakes and like figure it out.
Yeah.
Pat and I are not going to be here forever. Like they need to learn to to cope with it themselves. Like there'll be plenty of times where I won't be with Maddie at school and she has to make a tough decision. Like you need to be able to figure it out. You know, I'm here if you need me. I'm in the backfield, but like I just want them to know that they can do hard things and they can do things. And I'm always going to be their biggest cheerleader, but I don't want to ever force them to do anything.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of security in that for a kid too, right? Like you have that support system, so that
Mm-hmm.
they can go, make some mistakes, and you're there in their corner,
Oh,
and so that makes
100%.
that makes it a lot safer,
Yeah.
knowing that mom and dad are there
Mm-hmm.
for you to support no matter what,
Yeah.
um, and also setting a good example, like you're letting them have some freedom to kind of do the things and
Yeah.
teaching them the right lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so, I love this question. And you could look at it a number of different ways. You could ask yourself if you could go back and give yourself
Oh,
your younger self, one piece of advice. What would it be?
uh, eat.
Eat.
Eat and just train hard. Honestly, I wish I would have started my journey years ago. Like, I wish I just would have just got into it more in high school rather than outside of high school. And don't worry about um like body image and stuff like that. Just eat. Um, because
Yeah,
you know, in high
that's
school
interesting.
everybody
That's it.
struggles, and I was always the one like I was not like the smallest one out of my friend group. I always had thighs and a butt, and I was like athletic build. Um, and I definitely didn't do things I should have done because of my mindset and stuff like that. I wish that I would have known what I know now then.
Yeah, that's part of learning along
Yeah, 100%.
along the way, which is what you're giving back to your kids,
Yeah,
right? And it's going to probably carry further than just your kids, because your kids are going to be setting a good example and their friends are going to see it, and it's going to, kind of that ripple effect.
yeah.
Um,
And that's the thing about working with the kids. Like, I feel like they listen, they want the advice, but if you're not involved in it, you don't know what to say. So like I just like not saying that parents don't know what they're talking about, but if you're not into it, you're just not going to know any better. You're just going to think
right.
what everybody else thinks, and carbs are bad, stuff like that, and or not, or to not be able to talk to your kids the right way about food.
Mm.
That you want them to eat and fuel their bodies and stuff like that. So that's another thing I love working with the kids about is just educating them and letting them know. It's awesome.
Yeah. What So what's next for you? You said you're about to start training
Yeah.
for the next
Uh,
competition. Tell
like
tell me about tell me
the
more about that.
Okay, sure. So it's the cut before the prep. I am going to be going into prep for a bikini contest, probably May or June, depending on what my coach says. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, just with the business, I'm just every day I'm getting new inquiries and like people interested and stuff like that. So just trying to manage all that. Yeah, I'm loving life right now, Rockne.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you're doing awesome. You're being an inspiration for your kids, their friends, and you're helping a lot of people starting to feel better in their own bodies.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's the goal.
that's the goal, and that's the reward of being a coach, right?
100%. Hmm.
Where can people go to find you if they want to work with you, they want to follow your journey, they want to ask questions, they want to reach out? Where can people find you?
My Instagram, Carla _ODO _fit underscore, or truehustlefitness.com. There's my website and a inquiry box at the bottom.
Awesome. And I will link all of that in the show notes for the people that listen. And so that way they have easy access to follow you, reach out to you, and support you as you go into this cut before whatever you called it, the cut
Right.
before the
Cut before.
prep. So, um, yeah, we'll get that linked in so people can see as you go. And
Yeah.
good luck to you as you prep for this.
Thank
And
you.
that's going to be in May or June. So we
Yeah.
of course wish you the best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. If this episode or the topic resonated with you, please share it with somebody that you might think would benefit from it, and like and subscribe. Your support means the world for the growth of this show. All right. Thank you guys.